나의 두 눈을 감으면 떠오르는 그 눈동자 자꾸 가슴이 시려서 Let's kill this love. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ram pa 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 pa. Let's kill this love. Ram pa 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 pa. 나는 solo. I'm going solo, la 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 la. I'm going solo.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Fathihah. Today I will present about introduction and development Islamic finance in Malaysia. Islamic finance have taken place to allow Muslims to invest, saving and risk finance in a way which does not compromise their religious and ethical belief. Islamic finance become an important in line with the conventional finance, which is same as conventional finance system as such as banks, capital market, fund manager, investment firms and insurance companies. Islamic finance follow the Islamic law of Sharia that based on the primary source of Al-Quran and the saying and practice of Prophet Muhammad. Next is development of finance in Malaysia. On 1969, the establishment of the Pilgrims Fund Board. The Islamic financial in Malaysia had begun with the establishment of Malaysian Pilgrims Fund Board, which is Tabung Haji. 1983, the country's first Islamic bank, Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad (BIMB), that had begun operation on July 1983. The Islamic finance in Malaysia had been growth in demand. Next, the establishment of Syarikat Takaful Malaysia Berhad (STM) on 1984. On 1992, Bank Islam Malaysia was listed on the Kuala Lumpur Stock Exchange. Besides, on year 1993, conventional banking institutions were permitted to offer Islamic banking products and services on a window basis to leverage on the existing conventional infrastructure, including staff and branch network. On the following year, which is 1994, the introduction of Islamic Interbank Money Market Islamic Banking Research and Training Institute IBFIM was established by BIM. Next, we move on to the concept of Islamic finance.
Hi, I'm ERNA and I will present about Islamic concept. First, Islamic economy is based on core concept of balance, which help ensure that the motivates and objectives driving the Islamic finance industry and are beneficial to society. The first concept is balancing material pursuit and spiritual needs. In Islam, economic activity conduct according to Sharia itself an act of worship. Muslims believe they will be granted reward or merits for Sharia compliance economic activity, just as they be rewarded for worshipping Allah. The key to achieve such a reward is to find balance between economic activities and spiritual. In other words, a followers of the faith should focus on business success as much as neglected worship. The second core concept is balancing individual and social needs. A Muslim is expected to consider society in general when enjoying the bounties granted to her by Allah. This consideration include promoting justice in all economic activities. Remember that all people have mutual responsibility for all others and using the earth's resources wisely. Let's move to HAZIRAH to explain about the social justice concept. Thank you.
Thank you, ERNA. So, Islam allows for a free market economy where supply and demand are decided in the market. But at the same time, Islam directs the function of market mechanism by imposing specific laws and ethics that promote social justice. Therefore, social justice is a key concept of the Islamic finance industry. The first key concept is requiring zakat. To promote justice related to the distribution of wealth, Islam imposes a property tax called zakat. Every Muslim who meets certain criteria regarding the accumulation of wealth must pay zakat, which is distributed to people in need. By taxing the property of people who acquire wealth and distributing that tax to people in need, Islam promotes the social responsibility distribution of wealth. The second key concept is prohibiting riba. Islam prohibits interest-based transaction. No individual or business entity should hoard money in order to earn interest. People and business should use money to support productive economic activities. The return of successful economic activities are then distributed to the different parties involved, which is wealth is shared. The last key concept is encourage share risk. Islam finance encourage risk sharing in economic transaction. When a risk is shared among two or more parties involved in an economy, the burden of the risk faced by each party is reduced. So, we pass to MARYAM to explain more.
I am MARYAM Binti KAMAL. Today I'll be presenting about the challenges of Islamic finance. The first one is the lack of human capital. So everyone, as we all know, Islamic finance is a rather new concept that is actually emerging in our industry, right? So what happens is that when we are lacking in human resources to actually teach this subject in universities and colleges. So with this lack of human resources to teach this subject, of course there will be lack of human capital to actually conduct this process and to actually carry out the process of Islamic finance itself. We can see in Islamic banking and other Islamic financial institutions the lack of very capable human capital which are indeed knowledgeable and skillful in Islamic finance is lacking. So it will take us around a few more years to actually have a number of sufficient human capital for Islamic finance, banking, financial institutions. The second one is Sharia standardization. As we all know, Islamic view certain concepts with different perceptions. That's why we have different Islamic concepts and scholars who come up with their own concept to interpret a little something. And of course, it is justified by others. We have different mazhabs, right? So these different mazhabs view this differently, either in terms of the capital or interest, which may not be clearly stated in the Islamic Sharia, thus needs interpretation from the Islamic scholars. So when we have these differences, it is actually difficult for us to standardize the Sharia concept. The third challenge is the tax policy. Now everyone, we know that we have actually differences between the Islamic banks and the conventional banks, how they operate and how they actually tackle different issues, especially in terms of interest, right? So different tax policies actually makes there is a disparity between these two things, especially when it comes to special tax, sales tax, and bilateral tax treatments. So if we are able to actually standardize all these tax treatments between the Islamic and conventional, hence it will make that there is no actual bias between these two concepts, and people will actually see that the Islamic finance treatment is actually better than the conventional finance treatment when actually they are on par to be compared to each other. The next two challenges will be presented by my friend Daya. Let's go!
Hi Hana, thank you. The next challenge is lack of public awareness. Lack of public awareness is a big challenge in Malaysia. Why? Because lack of exposure regarding Islamic finance will lead to lack of public awareness. Besides, Islamic finance is not popular among the public because it provides low penetration rate and lack of critical mass in the Islamic finance industry. How to overcome this challenge? Islamic banks, regulators and government should undertake mass awareness program to drive the growth of Islamic finance and create critical mass for the industry. The last challenge is access to finance. Muslim countries have shown a lower level of financial inclusion than other countries in the world. This can be resolved by creating a better business models, reforms to increase competition within the banking sector, consumer protection, and better credit information and education.